Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gyan Timirandasya. Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We were reading from chapter 2 of the Srimad Bhagavatam with commentary of Visvanatha Cakravarti Thakur. And after explaining the stages of bhakti, he reversed to the concept of worship of the Supreme from the very beginning. And in the context of ancient Vedic society, which was called Varna and Ashram, the concept of worshiping Vishnu became most prominent. And so we left off with this verse, the one supreme Purusha, accepting the gunas of Prakriti. These are called the guna avatars, the avatars who represent the modes of nature, sattva, rajas, and tamas, for the purpose of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Brahma representing creation, Vishnu representing maintenance, and destruction is being represented by Lord Shiva. And they correspond. Creation is rajas. To create things, you need passion. And maintenance is the steadiness of continual overseeing of something. And Lord Vishnu oversees this creation, and therefore his importance is seen in the avatars as he manifests within this world. Jada jada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Whenever there's a decline in religious practice, the Lord either comes himself or sends a powerful representative, a Shaktivesh avatar. And then finally, at the end, everything is destroyed. That is the nature of the cycle of the creation. Birth of the creation, Brahma. The maintenance of creation, Vishnu. And then the destruction. And then, again, rebirth. Rebirth is the natural progression. Even in, we see the cycle of the years, the seasons, even of lifetimes. So the verse that we're beginning with today is actually 24. Smoke is superior to dull wood. And fire, which is sacred to the Vedas, is superior to smoke. Similarly, rajas is superior to tamas, and sattva is superior to rajas, since it is favorable for realizing the Lord. So the example is being given: wood, smoke, fire. The same principle is being given there. That better than the wood is the presence of fire, but is first perceived through smoke. In the same way, the idea is that the modes of material nature are there within this world, and every living being has some contact with the dull mode of ignorance, tamagun, rising above to the passion to get things done, raja, and then ultimately the sattva gun. And therefore the principle is there, since it is favorable for realizing the Lord, from dull wood to smoke, smoke indicating fire. Fire is utilized for worshiping the Lord. That is the indication, is kind of a subtle indication that better than the mode of ignorance, or even better than the mode of passion, is that, again, being emphasized, the mode of goodness, which is represented by Lord Vishnu. Therefore, text 25, the ancient sages worship the Supreme Lord beyond the material senses, composed of Vishuddha Sattva. Those who follow the sages attain liberation in this world. Now another concept is being given. Even above this is the Lord from whom the guna avatars have manifest. He is considered the Supreme Lord. In other words, from him, everything has come. Even that Lord Vishnu. So we will hear about the process of creation in due course of time. The whole of this is now being introduced. It will take us to the purpose of creation, how creation manifests through the various forms of Lord Vishnu, and then ultimately how to achieve the highest liberation, hearing about the avatars of the Lord. These are the chapters which will be coming up. Rejecting the frightful form of Shiva and the other devatas, persons who are desirous of liberation, without criticizing those devatas, worship the avatars of Narayan. The commentary says, Bhuta Patin. This is a form of Shiva who is identified with the ghosts. So this is not that all forms of Lord Shiva is like this, but Bhuta Patin, referring in this context, because he is identified with destruction. He is seen, frightful form, as the Lord. Pati means the Lord of the Bhutas, of the ghosts. These type of devatas should be given up, but not criticized. They have their purpose. They have been manifested for various purposes. Desires of progeny and power, along with wealth, having the natures of Rajas and Tamas, corresponding to the natures of their deities, worship various forms through the Pitris, the Shiva or Brahma or others. There's, even if we study the Bhagavad Gita, we understand that there is worship in the different modes. There is worship that goes on, and we've seen actually, in even the highest of holy places like Jagannath Puri, mode of ignorance worship going on with slaughter of animals and so forth. We have seen it and we've heard it. Horrible. This goes on by those who have the mentality, we'll say, of a Bhuta or a demoniac mentality. Then there are those who want prosperity. They worship various devatas also. That's being mentioned in this verse. Desires of progeny, power, wealth. They also worship maybe mixed forms of those deities of Rajas and Tamas. They will worship Shiva. They will worship the Pitris. They will worship Brahma and others, it says. So the commentary is, Prakritaya, meaning having the nature of. That you identify primarily with someone or something which resonates with you. and so those of the lower modes find that these deities may be attractive to them. But the ultimate goal is to rise above the modes of material nature, and this all goes back to the basic instructions of Bhagavad Gita. Rise above the modes of material nature, and then come to the platform of Sattva Gun, pure goodness. Not only goodness, but pure spiritual goodness. And so here it says that one should ultimately rise above all of this. This is a nice verse. Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramakaha, Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Parakriyaha, Vasudeva Param Jnanam, Vasudeva Param Tapa, Vasudeva Paradharmo, Vasudeva Paragatihi. Gati means the goal. Like we sing in the prayers to the Guru, that if we make offense to Guru, Nagati Katopi. Nagati means then we don't know what will be our destination. But here, those who are focused know that the destination is Vasudev, Gati, not Nagati. Gati, where we want to go. We know, we have a clear vision. That is the mentality of the devotee. Vasudeva Paraveda. Vasudev, ultimately referring to the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We began the Bhagavatam with this prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudev, Krishna, is the ultimate goal, and he is what is to be understood from the study of this book, the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the ultimate purport of all the Vedas is Vasudeva. Vasudeva Paramakaha. Vasudeva is the object of all the sacrifices. Those who actually know the path of yoga understand Vasudeva Para Yoga. The goal of yoga is to understand Vasudeva. Varnashram, knowledge, and all austerities are all dependent on Vasudeva, says the verse. Vasudeva Parakriya, all activities, all knowledge, all of this. And ultimately, Gyan and Vasudeva Paratapa, all the austerities, all the knowledge. Vasudeva Paradharma, he is the ultimate goal of religion. Bhakti. Prema and liberation are dependent on him. Vasudeva Paragati. So the idea is now being presented very clearly that this book, the Srimad Bhagavatam, is for the purpose of glorifying Vasudeva, because this is the real purport of the Vedas. It is the real purport of everything you do, the yajnas you perform, the knowledge you gain, the austerities you enact. It is ultimately, if you dive deep enough within the Veda and don't, Krishna actually says that in the Bhagavad Gita, go beyond the superficial language of the Veda and dive deep. Understand the real essence of it. And here the real essence is given to us. Vasudeva Paraveda. The essence of the Veda is Vasudeva. And the ultimate goal, Vasudeva Paragati, is Vasudeva, Krishna. So one has to transcend the modes of material nature and ultimately worship Vasudeva. And that may begin with the general sense of Varnashram, but when we understand bhakti to a deeper degree, we understand that all our actions should be done for the pleasure, Vasudeva Para Kriti, that everything we should do, kriyaha, should be done for the purpose of pleasing the Lord. That powerful Lord alone, who is above the material gunas, it was he who previously created this universe through his own material energy, which was composed of material gunas and endowed with cause and effect. Commentary. The creator of all those who are recommended for worship is Vasudeva alone. Ultimately, those who worship Vasudeva, even those devas worship Vasudeva. That is the idea. Thus, he is the person who is worthy of worship. That Lord who is beyond the gunas. He creates the universe using the gunas and the material aspect of cause and effect, sada sad rupaya, but he is also transcendental to it all. Never comes in touch with the modes of material nature, always transcendentally situated. The Lord entered into the jivas covered by the gunas. Then after creating, here's a summary now, after creating this world, that Lord who is transcendental to this world manifested the jivas also, the living beings, and he entered into the hearts of each and every jiva. The Lord entered into the jivas who were covered by the gunas, manifested by Maya. He appears to be in contact with the gunas, but he is always situated in his own spiritual potency. He may appear to be also covered by the modes, but he is never. He is there, transcendently situated, creates this world, creates the jivas, and then enters into this world and enters into he's the super soul of the universe. He's everywhere present. He's also within the heart of every living being. Just as one fire situated in the pieces of wood as its natural place of manifestation blazes forth as many fires, the one Supreme Lord, who is the soul of the universe, the Paramatma, situated in all living beings, manifest as many. Here the example of fire is given again. One fire. but it can jump, and there are many fires. So the Supreme Lord is situated within the heart of all living beings. He is the Paramatma. The word Paramatma means he is the Supreme Soul. The living being is the Atma. The example given in the Upanishads, two birds situated in the tree of the heart, the Atma and the Paramatma, the Supreme Lord, the Super Soul or the guide within the heart, or the witness. He can just remain silent and be the witness. But he is situated in all living beings. And although there are many living beings, he is one. He is situated in the hearts of many living beings, but he remains the Supreme One. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. That he remains perfect and complete. No matter if it looks like he has divided himself into many, he still remains the complete whole. You can read that in the Ishopanishad. He remains the complete whole. The Lord then, as Paramatma, having entered all the bodies of the living beings, with those who have material senses and mind, observers of with their senses of this world, he enters into the hearts of all living beings, which have been created by the Lord. And thus, the jivas enjoy the sense objects colored by the gunas. The living being then finds himself in the world of cause and effect. And he perceives things in accordance with his vision of the world. Just like one can change colored glasses and sees everything reddish if you have a reddish lens, passion and fire, or maybe green through knowledge and so forth. He sees differently, but the same living being is caught up in the cycle of birth and death, while that Paramatma remains transcendently situated. That Lord, who is the creator of the universe, absorbing himself in the forms of various Leela avatars, appearing in forms of devatas and animals and humans, just like we know Das Avatar. He appears fish incarnation. He appears half man, half lion. So through different various forms, these are called his Leela avatars, pastime avatars. He appears as a devata, as an animal, as a human, but he appears, although transcendently situated, within this world to protect the world through his role as the controller of the Sattva Gun. That is his purpose for manifesting to within this world, time after time, yuge, time after time, birth after birth. The living being is born within this world, and he appears with us every birth within our heart, giving us the inner guidance to move forward and observing our activities, hopefully learning our lessons. It has been described, the commentary says, that the Lord appears as many forms when he enters all the living beings. However, the Lord is without limitation or material contamination in all of the forms that he manifests. He appears in many forms with his Swarup in his eternal pastimes. Bhavayati means he protects. He comes to protect, or it means he bestows upon them. Bhav, praying. Bhavayati can mean two things. Bhavyati means he comes to protect the world, but it also means he comes to instill natural love of himself, bhav, within the hearts of others. This verse describes now the normal goal of the avatars. Loka bhavanaha here means the creator of the universe instead of the protector of the worlds. And to avoid redundant meaning, since Bhavayati Lokan already means he protects the world. So he is the creator of the universe and the protector of the worlds. And in this way he appears through many, many forms for these two purposes: creating the universe, protector of the worlds, and ultimately to instill within us the bhav, or the natural state of the living being, love for Krishna. Thus ends the commentary of the second canto. second chapter of the first canto of the Bhagavatam, which has been compiled by Visvanatha Cakravarti Thakur for the pleasure of the devotees in accordance with the previous acharyas. So next time we'll take this up. Chapter 3 is a list of the avatars. Now there'll be a broad description of these avatars, and then a further detailed description as we go through the book of the pastimes of all of these avatars. But so we've now come to understand the nature of Vasudeva, and that the living beings should ultimately worship that Lord who is transcendently situated beyond the gunas, he who created this universe, manifested this universe, and who maintains the universe through his various avatars. Now, to become acquainted with the avatars, the text of chapter 3 will give a description of these avatars. As we progress within the Bhagavatam, we'll come to know them more and more, specifically those who are most significant and their activities, just like Lord Nrsimhadev and his pastimes with Prahlad Maharaj and stuff, and Hiranyakashipu. That'll be explained, I believe, in sixth canto. But here is just a general definition. We're just entering into the subject matter of the Bhagavatam, and now learning the nature of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva. He is to be worshipped, and he who appears now through many incarnations throughout time and more. Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Shri Radhesha.